Welcome to Inside Santa Cruz County, and I'm Joyce Anderson. And I want to introduce my two guests today, which is Sheriff Phil Wowak and Chief Deputy Jim Hart. So welcome.
Thank you.
Today we're going to take a tour of the new sheriff's facilities in Live Oak. And Phil, tell us a little bit about what's going on here and what's happening. And also, we want to hear a little bit about yourself.
Well, good, and welcome, and thank you for coming. Our goal today is to really introduce our community to the new facility that we are bringing online December of 2013. Joyce, the first of three buildings or three phases in this construction project are going to be open again December of this year. Our forensic pathology facility, our crime scene investigations laboratory, and our property and evidence section are the first of an 85,000 square foot facility that's coming online. That project was unanimously voted and approved by the Board of Supervisors in 2011, and we've used $44 million in redevelopment agency funds to purchase this property, enter into a construction agreement with the owners, Barry Swenson Builders, and that project is going to centralize all of Sheriff's operations into one central location in Santa Cruz County.
Well, all the information you're going to give us today is going to be really helpful because we're going to come back and see the tour when it's open, but now it's under construction. So, Jim, tell us what some of your jobs have been here, and this is a very, the project here is enormous. It's 84,000 square feet.
That's correct. We're moving into 84,000 square feet of brand new facility, and today we're going to be looking at our coroner's section, our CSI section, and our property and evidence section. And so part of my job is to move our 200 plus employees that are going to be working out of this complex from their existing work areas to this brand new facility. So part of my job is what they sent me to the police academy for, which is picking out carpet and tile and vinyl and paint. But it's been a vast project, and we're nearing completion, and we're really excited about moving in.
You forgot the mini blinds.
And the mini blinds as well.
Yes. No, I love that part. So but you know, your facilities have been spread all over the county. I mean, your records and the coroner's office, so now you're going to be all in one, is that right?
That's correct. Our coroners are located in another position, or in another area right now. Our laboratory, our car processing area, and so what we're doing is we are bringing all of those services into one complex, and it's really going to free up a lot of time. We'll have a coroner will drive to a crime scene, and then to the lab, and then to a processing area, and all that driving time is taken away from actual production time. So when a crime or an incident happens, everything will be brought here, and we'll be able to process and handle that case in one location.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. And also right now you're on Ocean Street.
Correct. That's one of 5 locations that we're going to consolidate into this campus, yes.
Oh, and the parking is definitely going to be better.
Parking will be significantly improved for not only the public, but for our employees.
For your employees. How many employees altogether are you going to have in here? Do you know, is there a count right now?
We have, the Sheriff's Office in total is 330 employees. Our office is made up in 3 bureaus. Chief Hart runs the Administration Bureau. We have an Operations Bureau, and we have a Corrections Bureau. The Operations and Administration Bureaus will be housed at this campus, but not the Corrections Bureau. So the total number of employees that will work at this facility are between 200 and 225.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to taking a tour of these new facilities. I know they're, like I mentioned before, it's under construction, but where do you want to take us first?
Well, I think the first thing for us to do is to move you from the south side of the building and walk through the building and see exactly how it's laid out in a very efficient factory style. So we'll start with the coroner or forensic pathology section.
All right. So we're outside. Bill, give us a perspective about the buildings and where we are right now.
Sure. Well, right behind us here, Joyce, is the first of 3 buildings that is going to come online. This is the forensic pathology section, our property and evidence section, and then further down this building is the CSI section. And then off in the distance, the green building that you see is going to be our administration building, and that'll be the third building that'll come online. Why don't we take you into the coroner section?
Let's do it.
Okay, this is the first of 3 divisions that are in the Sciences building, and this is the coroner division.
Okay.
So Joyce, this is the conference area for the coroner's division. This is where all of our forensic medical examinations are done. Currently we work in a building that was built in 1956, and it was modified to become the coroner section in 1979. This new facility is going to come online again December of this year. The sheriff coroner, as I am elected in the county, is responsible for doing all death investigations regardless of the jurisdiction in the county. Chief Hart can tell you a little bit about the types of investigations we do and what work is going to be performed here.
Joyce, anytime there's a suspicious death, a homicide, an accident, or a suicide, our forensic pathologist is required to do either an inspection or a full autopsy of that body. The room behind me is one of 3 rooms in this facility where our forensic pathology will perform those inspections or those autopsies. This area is twice the size of the area that our staff currently works in, so we're really happy to get a little bit more space for them and a much better working environment for our staff. Once evidence is seized or taken from the bodies that our forensic pathologist inspects, it is then taken over to our property evidence room, so we can head over there now if you'd like.
Joyce, I am the elected sheriff and coroner, but I didn't go to medical school, and we hire a pathologist to do our medical examinations. This area here is the office of the forensic pathologist and our 4 field investigators who work in the coroner division. It's our responsibility to determine the cause of death in any suspicious or unattended death. So this is the property division. As Chief Hart mentioned, all evidence gathered not only in medical examinations, but in field evidence will be brought and stored in this facility as well.
A lot of keys you got to carry unless there's one
All
key
the
open
keying of
everything.
the system is going to be done next month.
Oh, man.
This is our property and evidence area. These lockers you see are pass-throughs into our crime scene investigations unit or our CSI lab. And what these gentlemen are doing, they're just finishing up this area, but we've had staff working in this property section now for about 2 months.
Deputies bring evidence in from the field this way, and these from this area that comes from the laboratory. And so Shirley and Lisa are our property clerks. They catalog and bring in every piece of evidence. Over 1,000 pieces of evidence a month come into the office. And then they have to catalog it. It goes into a new computer system, and then it goes into long-term storage. So we should be able to show you the storage area.
What's up, Travis?
Hey, how are you? Thanks. Sure.
Joyce, we're standing in our secured property and evidence area. Every item of evidence that our sheriff's deputies collect in any investigation is received by the deputies, it's logged in a report, and then it's submitted into our property and evidence room. We then have property and evidence technicians who log that into a computer system, and then they place the evidence somewhere in these file areas.
Take a look at this. There's so much evidence brought into the facility that we have a real need for space. And so these are high-density storage units that allow you to, with one turn, you can move the entire room. So our property clerks are able to condense storage and then catalog and scan everything into our storage area. But there's a significant amount of evidence that we receive, over 1,000 pieces a month.
Oh my goodness, look at that. And you're really utilizing the space.
Yes.
That's
No, we're very,
amazing.
very happy about how the system's coming online and the new technologies that are available in comparison to what we had in the past.
Wow.
And Joyce, as you can see, this is a green building. This building is certified as a green building, and as you can see, even if the lights are turned off, with the amount of the number of skylights we have and the way that the building was designed, there's great lighting in here without really using a lot of electricity.
That's really good information, good to know, and there are a lot of people who'll be very happy to hear that.
We just left the Property and Evidence Division, and if evidence from the property storage area needs to be analyzed by our Crime Scene Investigation section, it comes through a pass-through, goes into our laboratory area, and this is where field technicians can break down evidence, find microscopic traces of evidence on, let's say, a beer can that has a fingerprint on it, for
Sure.
example.
Oh.
That type of work will be done here, so it'll be brought from the property section into this work area. This work area then allows them to break down evidence, and then it can be then transferred from here to our forensic laboratory. So why don't we have the chief show you the forensic laboratory?
This is the entrance to our laboratory. It's right off of the CSI lab hallway. And we're entering the forensic, computer forensic area, where data can be retrieved from computers, cell phones, cameras, you name it, that can be done in this room. As we go into the lab, there's a lot of workspace here to analyze the evidence. We also have laboratories for skeletal remains, fingerprints, and a number of other areas. We hope someday that we're going to be able to get into DNA and some other areas that are a little more advanced. We're not quite there yet, but we hope to get there someday.
Jim, tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, how long have you been on the force, and where are you from?
I'm in my 26th year with the Sheriff's Office. I'm born in San Jose, but I was raised in Santa Cruz from 3 years on. Graduated from Harper High School, went on and earned my bachelor's degree from the University of Nevada. I earned that degree in May of '88, and I was hired by the Sheriff's Office in October of 1988. I was hired by Al Norn, was promoted to sergeant by Mark Tracy, to lieutenant by Steve Robbins, and now I'm a chief deputy for Sheriff Wowak, who I report directly to.
Great. So, you know, you mentioned DNA. You still have to send that out. Where does that, I mean, that process, that would be so wonderful if they could really do it in these facilities, because doesn't it take such a long time to wherever?
But DNA is an evidence that comes off of other evidence. So you would
Yeah.
extract that evidence, and that can be done here.
Oh, it can,
But
okay.
the actual extraction and then moving that DNA source to the Department of Justice Laboratory is our current work process.
I see.
As Chief Hart mentions, in the near future, we hope to expand the services in this laboratory. The laboratory is built to be able to run that type of work. We just don't employ the staff that are trained to do it at this time.
Right.
So these are the two garage areas. This is actually going to have a lift where vehicles can be lifted up, but right now they're bringing in all the doors for the building. This room will be used for forensic anthropology. So in our coroner cases, missing person cases where we recover skeletal remains, we have a doctor of forensic anthropology on staff that'll be running the entire laboratory system, but she will also maintain this exam room. Next to this exam room, we have our photography room. We'll be able to do alternate light source photography, digital photography, and film photography work in this laboratory. And then this laboratory is going to be for our evidence processing and fingerprinting. So the old super glue system that you've seen on television, this is the laboratory where all fume fingerprint work will be done. And then next to us is where all the latent fingerprint work, once a fingerprint is extracted off a piece of evidence and then gets turned into a digital format, then this will become the room where our fingerprint technicians analyze those and then try and compare those extracted fingerprints to known database. And this room here is for our automated fingerprint identification system.
And how many people would work in this room for something like that? I mean, is it just according to case, or?
Currently, we have 2 people on staff that are certified in forensic fingerprint analysis. This room is built to actually house 4 different investigators or analysts. And the entire laboratory is built to expand beyond the 5 people that we have working for the organization right now. The chief and I have a goal of providing forensic work to all law enforcement agencies in Santa Cruz County and in the Monterey Bay region in the near future. The need for certification, the requirement to keep people's education levels sharp for court testimony and the like really requires us to pool our resources as law enforcement agencies. So our hope is to have other agencies contribute the needed funds to hire staff to completely staff up this laboratory, and then we would use this laboratory on a regional basis.
That's so exciting.
When I was designing this display, I wanted the Sheriff Alzina to be highlighted more so than the others, since he was the first sheriff. So I decided that I was going to do him in 8x10 rather than the 5x7 that these are, or 4x6. And so I went out in search of an antique frame, thinking I wanted to highlight him. And I went into an antique shop and I found this military frame that's got the filigree around it. And it had the stars on it, and I was new to the sheriff's office at the time, so I didn't really know much about rankings and things of the sheriffs. So I bought the frame. I took it. I was on my way up to my mom's house, and I took it with me, and I sanded it and stained it and everything, and brought it home without the stars on it. And Mark Tracy was the sheriff at the time, and so I showed it to him, and I said, "So what do you think about this frame?" And I put the little stars on. I said I could either put the stars on it or I could leave them off, you know. And he said, "Well, you think it looks too gaudy with the stars?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. It's your choice. You know, what do you think?" And he goes, "Well, I do wear 4 stars on my lapel as sheriff." And I said, "Well, then they have to be on there." And so it was like a perfect find, and it was just something that I found in an antique store. And so it was very exciting to have that, you know, that finished product for the very first sheriff to be able to honor.
Oh, mid-turn. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, here we
Went
are.
too fast.
Oh. Oh, right, this is the...
We were hiding that from you
Yeah.
until the end.
Okay, Bill, this is your next...
This has been my job here, getting all this furniture ordered and installed. Yeah.
You know, a lot of friends and family who show up to help you operate this.
Then, as Jim mentioned, these are the generator systems for the buildings.
Yeah.
These are 2 of 3 large generators. The entire interior of the campus is going to be behind security gates. So all of our public safety equipment will be back behind here, as well as some employee parking. There's one of the green electric vehicle charging stations. And then the front half of the complex is available for public access and public parking.
And what are the buildings over there?
This building here is going to be our operations and investigation section. So the operations bureau, all of our patrol deputies and staff will be in this building, along with the detectives who do follow-up investigation work. So I really want to show you the difference between, just in 6 months, because what the interior of this building looks like now is what the interior of the sciences building looked like 6 months ago. The building we just left looked exactly like this 6 months ago.
Oh my God.
11 months ago, the building was completely set up for office complex. And then it was demoed, completely retrofitted. So there's an earthquake safe roof structure. All of the steel girders that go into the earth here are all set for a seismic load of 8.0. in an earthquake.
Yeah.
And the entire facility is set up for, as the chief mentioned, it's set up to be an essential services building. So it's available and will withstand a natural disaster, so we can help the rest of the public.
So this would be a safe place then, you know, you can open facilities up to help people.
Yes. If you think back to the '89 earthquake, the Santa Cruz Police Department was displaced from their offices.
Yeah.
The building was so old that it became damaged and couldn't be
One of a safe
used.
haven place was the Vets Hall downstairs in the basement.
Right.
By the Red Cross. I remember being down there trying to tell them that's probably the worst place you could be in an
Yeah.
earthquake.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where our deputies are going to report for duty. There's a roll call room here, an investigations section. This will actually be occupied and up and running in April of 2014.
Wow.
That's how fast the construction company is moving and how well the project was designed.
Oh, careful. Yeah. So this is all going to be done in the spring.
6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know, this campus will consolidate 5 different work facilities that we have spread all over Santa Cruz and Live Oak now.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you'll be able to just, it's much more efficient for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a long time coming.
Yes. I joke, but part of the sales pitch to get this project going is that the sheriff's office was moved into 701 Ocean Street from Front Street in 1975 as a temporary move. And we're still there, so that's the definition of temporary in government. But the whole purpose of us coming to this type of a facility is that we're that much better accessible to the public and more efficient for the resources that we have.
Well, look forward to Dedication Day.
Oh, so do we.
Well
So do we.
deserved.
This is employee area. That area is our public access.
Okay, and then you have the garages, and this will be such a hub though.
It will. It absolutely will. And as we mentioned, you know, we really built it for expansion and for the future. So there's a lot of opportunity here for all of our systems to grow.
Yeah.
Not only our operations, but our forensics and our administration. We have space dedicated in the administration building for the county's emergency operations center. So in a natural disaster, the emergency operations center will be activated here at the sheriff's headquarters in Live Oak.
Very exciting.
It's even more exciting for us.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The 5200 building in the background is, as I mentioned earlier, the third phase or the third building that's going to come online. That building is our administration building, 2-story, 32,000 square foot building, and it'll be the final piece of this $44 million project. The project has really become a really good asset for public safety in Santa Cruz County. The chief can tell you a little bit about what we got for those funds.
So we purchased the parking lot and the 3 buildings. So most of this property out here at the corner of Chanticleer and Soquel, that was part of the expense. And then the other expense was demolition of the interior of the buildings and then the rebuilding and the remodel of basically 84,000 feet to make it an essential services building. These buildings had to be earthquake retrofitted. There's generators that were purchased for each building, so if a bad event happens, law enforcement will be up and running in the county areas if a fire, flood, or earthquake happens. Another thing that we wanted to mention was that the redevelopment money covers the purchase and the remodel of these structures. We had to figure out a way to buy all the stuff that goes inside of them. And so Sheriff Wowak, for a number of years, had been saving all the asset forfeiture money that came in through drug sale cases. And so every chair, every workstation, every television, even some of the computer equipment is being purchased with asset seizure money at no cost to the county general fund.
That's amazing. That's
The
awesome.
entire project didn't
Yeah.
cost the general fund $1. The $44 million, as the chief mentions, is all of this cabinetry and the sciences equipment that are in the building. And then additionally, every employee that works in the facility is going to have a new desk, a new chair, a new workstation.
Gosh, what a great legacy. I mean, to have this happen and under your, both your watch and be so
you.
involved, hands-on, congratulations on that. One of the things I wanted to mention about when we were in your office on Ocean Avenue, there was some amazing old photographs, and Linda Bingham had put the historical part of a lot of the first sheriff, and there were just so many, and we did take some photos of it. Will those photos be available for viewing in this new building?
The photos of all the old sheriffs will be
Yeah.
distributed around the campus, and the entire collection will be in the administration bureau. Each individual conference room area in the campus is going to be dedicated to a former sheriff. So much like the first conference room that we were in at the Coroner Division, that conference room will be dedicated and named after former Sheriff Doug James. Sheriff James was the first sheriff/coroner, and so we thought it appropriate to name that room after him.
That's great. I want to thank both of you for taking us on this tour before it even opens to see some of the work and the construction and what's been going on here. I mean, I know it has to be such a labor of love that you put into this in your time. So, and we're going to come back for the opening.
Great.
It's going to look totally different.
Yes, I think you're going to see a marked change from what you see
Right,
today.
right.
And believe it or not, that's going to happen in just a few weeks.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, but I especially, like I said, it was so grateful that you were able to take the time to show us this. And also, all the people in our county and community are just going to, this information is really important. And thank you both for your service and what you do for all of us.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Joyce.
Joyce.
Thank you.